back to my channel. So today I'll be making a tie to the back simple dress, and for that I'll be needing my fabric, the lining, zip, my scissors, my chalk and my tape. So let's get into the video. The fabric I'm working with today is around 3 yards, but you could easily do this with 2 yards. So the first thing I'm going to do is to open up my fabric. So the first thing I have to do is to fold my fabric into two, right? And then I checked the bust measurement I'm working with, and what I'm working with is 44, and 44 divided by 4 is 11. So the 11 I'm working with, I'm going to give it extra one. The 44 is the widest part of the upper body, that is the bust area, so that will be 11, and then 11 plus 1 inch for my seam allowance is 12, and then I'm going to give it extra 4 inches, so that will be 11. So that will be 1 2 3 4, so that will be at 16. So basically the bust measurement divided by 4, which is 11, plus extra 5 inches, which will be the 16. So 16 is what will be the round of this top, because the first thing I'm going to do is to work on the top part of this dress. So the next thing I'm going to check now is so first I folded the fabric, right? So the next thing is to check the shoulder to the waist. So from the shoulder to the waist on this person is 18, and then I'm going to add extra 1 inch, which is 19, and then the extra 1 inch is for the ½ inch when I'm attaching the top part, and then the ½ inch when I'm attaching the bottom part. So that is what is going to leave me with 19. So I'm going to mark the 19 here, right? Make a straight line here for the 19 inches here. So now the next thing to do is to check my shoulder. The shoulder I'm working with is 15, and then 15 divided by 2, that will be 7.5. So you come down this way for 7.5, and then the armhole I'm working with is supposed to be 20, and then 20 divided by 2 is 10. So that is how I'm going to get this line here. So I'm going to connect these two lines and then mark it this way. As you can see, the room that I've left here is a lot more, because this dress, there's nothing at the back, so it's supposed to wrap around a little bit to cover the sides of the person wearing it. Because if I stop right at this 11, which is the bust measurement, then it will look like an apron. It won't cover around the person. But that was why I decided to add like extra 4 inches to it. 1 inch for my seam allowance, and then the other extra 4 is for the side, just so it can go a little bit to the back of the person wearing it. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark around 3.5 from the neck. So this is 3.5 here on the shoulder, and then what I'm left with is around, just to be sure, 3.5 here. So I'm left with 4 inches here, because remember this line is 7.5, and then I took away 3.5, so now I'm left with 4 inches on the dot. So with the 4 inches, I'm going to mark the center of this 4 inches, which is going to be at the 2, and then the 2 that I marked now, what I'm going to do is at this 2, I'm going to mark ½ an inch on this side and then ½ an inch on this side. So this is where my sleeve would come. So the neckline I'm going to work with is 8, because I've done, the neckline is supposed to be 8, so I've marked 8 from the other side of this line here, because remember I made 4 here, right? I'm supposed to have 4 here. So 2 is this line in the center, and then ½ an inch and ½ an inch. From the ½ an inch on the middle part, I'm going to mark it for the neckline, because you know normally this is supposed to be my neckline now, right? But I'm working with a V neckline, so from here to here is 8, and then from this mark for my armhole, I'm going to join it to this other side of this ½ an inch. So I'm just going to go this way. So, and then for the waist, I'm working with 40 for the waist. 40 divided by 4 is 10. 10 plus the 5 inches I'm adding so that it can go round is supposed to be 15. But remember, I'm supposed to add a dot here, so it will be 16. So 6 is what I added to what I got from the waist, and then 5 is what I added here. But 1 inch is still going to, I'm going to still remove 1 inch here when I add the dot. So from here, which means the waist and the shoulder here will be the same. It will be 16 16, because the waist here is almost the same as the bust here. So the waist and the bust here are almost the same. So now I'm going to cut out everything. And another thing is that if you want, you could just go down by 1 inch here, right? 1 inch on the shoulder, like you're making a normal blouse. Go down by 1 inch and then connect it to this first middle line here, the 3.5 line here, so that way you could still get your shoulder slant. But if you want, you don't have to do it. But I'm just going to do it just so it falls on the shoulder at the right places. So you just watch and see, because I've made so many lines here, but watch closely and you will see the ones that I'm cutting out. So I've gone from this line here. So now I'm going to follow the slant that I made this way, right? So now the next line I'm going to follow is this one here, the neckline. So I'm going to cut this one out. So yeah, as you can see, this is how it's going to look. This will be the top here, right? Because remember I said I added just like 4 inches so that the back would have some clothes coming at the back, some piece of fabric coming. So now when I attach the loop, I'm going to attach 1 loop, 2, and then a third one. That way when you lace it up, you have some fabric covering the back. If not, if I stopped at 11, if I didn't give it that extra 4 inches for the side, then I would have stopped here, and then the whole back and the whole side. So you'll be having side boobs coming out from the side and it won't look nice. So I'm going to set this aside, right, and cut the bottom of the dress. So guys, now I'm going to cut the bottom of the dress. And to cut the bottom of this dress, the length I'm working with is 37 for the full length of the dress, and then the shoulder to the waist is 18. So I'm going to minus 18 from the 37, and that will leave me with 19. So 19 plus 1.5, which is 1 inch for folding the end here, right? And then half an inch for attaching the shoulder to the waist, the top part of the dress to the waist of the bottom part. So that will be 1.5 plus the 19 inches. That will leave me with 20.5, sorry. So as you can see, the way I folded the fabric is I folded it into 2 this way, right? And then the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut. I'm going to check where I have so guys, I split it into 2, right? I have one piece here, and this you could gather to make the front part of this dress here, right? As you can see, this way, right? So what I have to do now is to cut for the back of the dress. The lower part of the dress, the lower flayed part of the dress is what I'm cutting now. So for that, I'm not going to use up all this fabric. What I'm going to use is just half of this, because remember, the gather at the back is not supposed to be that much, since the top part comes all the way, almost halfway at the back. So I'm just going to split the remaining into 2. for the gather at the back. So that is what I'm going to do now. Not into two, maybe let me just give it some room here. So this is the one I'm going to use, this is the one I'm going to keep. So after cutting that out, so this will be the back, the lower back of this dress, because the top part is laced up. So now I'm going to cut out what I'm going to use for the lacing, and for that I'll need around like 1 inch of, or 1.5. I think I'll need, okay, I'll just go with 2 inches, but I'll eyeball it. You could always do yours yourself and see how much you need. The lace, I don't want it too big. So guys, as you can see, the next thing I want to do now is to cut out the lining, because this piece of cloth is not thick enough. So I want to add more fabric. I want to add this lining to it, because this top, when you wear it, you don't wear bra with it. So for that I need to add extra cloth to it, so it can add to the thickness of this top part of the dress. But I'm not going to be using the lining at the bottom part, just on top of this, on the top part is where I'm going to be using it. So I'm just going to trace equivalent of this on this lining. So now, so I've gone ahead and pinned it down so it doesn't move as I'm cutting out. So now I'm just going to cut it out. So guys, I've gone ahead and then I've traced this all the way. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to start sewing. And to start sewing, first I'm just going to finish up with all my laces. So this lace here, I'm going to fold it and come back. I made the strap, and then I also made the this here for the loop for the sides. So the next thing I'm going to, this is about 4 inches or 4.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to open this up and then place it this way, right? When I place it this way, I'm going to put my strap in from because you see the back side is facing out. Now I'm going to place my belt in here, right? And then if I place it in, I'm going to pin it down. I'm going to pin it down here. The same, so from the inside, the right side is here, the lining is here. So from the inside, I'm going to place it in here and then pin it down again. So when I'm done with that, the next thing to do is to, so as you can see, this is how it is, right? So I'm going to stitch, what I'm going to do now is to stitch this belt, this tie, the rope. I'm going to stitch it several times here and then stitch all the way down to the V, all the way up, and then meet the second tie. I'm going to stitch it several times and then go all the way down to the armhole. Then when I reach this armhole, from the inside here, I'm going to be placing this way. So the first one, I'm going to get it and place it in from here, right? And then I'm going to stitch it several times. Get the second one, fold it into two. The folded part is facing inwards, and then I'm going to stitch it several times. Get the third one, fold it inwards this way. The loop part of it is going to be facing inside of the clothes, and then the rough ends are going to be this way. So I'm going to do that and come back now. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and sewed all these ends, right? So what I'm going to do now is to trim off some of the excess and then give it some, I'm going to snip these ends here so that when I flip it over, it won't be bulky. So I'm going to do that and come back. So guys, As you can see, I've gone ahead and finished up this part. I've flipped it over, and as you can see, the loops are now out on the side. I did 3 on each side, 3 on each side, and then I also gave it the dart. So from the inside you will see, so I just pinched out this piece and then gave it the dart. That was the extra 1 inch I added on the waist. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add the bottom of the dress. I'm going to attach the bottom to this and then I'll come back. So guys, I've gone ahead and attached the bottom of this to the top part. As you can see, I've attached this, the bottom and the top. But if you look at the back, I also attached the back piece too. But if you look at the back, you will see that the back is the same length as the front of this dress, right? So what I have to do is, because I'm still going to attach elastic to the back piece, this is the elastic I'm using. As you can see, it's very thin. So what I'm going to do is attach a piece of fabric. See where I've already made the stitch? I'm going to attach this piece of fabric to the back. So now I'm going to fold it in, right? I'm going to fold it. See where I made the stitch? So now I'm going to fold this in, and then after folding it in, then from here I'm going to make the loop for this elastic. So I'm going to finish up and then bring it back. So I'm going to attach this elastic all the way from the loop, and then so make a stitch here, attach it here, and then attach it here. So that will bring the dress together. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to the back and the front. I don't know if you could see the stitches on this side and then on this side. So all the way to this point is attached to this top, but then from this point to this point is where you will see the elastic. So this is the elastic band. See where it stops. So now you could see the reason why I added the extra 4 inches to come to the back. So it covers you all the way coming in, and then you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.